Okay, special message to our executive producer, JC. I think you'll like this video, JC, because it's going to be a quick one. It's going to be fairly short. It's Super Sunday. It's the late morning of Super Sunday. Man, I was trying to find something on TV. I found alpine skiing from the Winter Olympics. And congratulations to Breezy. Miss Breezy on absolutely winning a gold medal. Sadly, one of the other United States skiers wiped out, and her medal dream ended on the slopes. And that's certainly a sad thing. But we're going to talk football. Super Bowl Sunday. I remember an interview with a guy. They were interviewing people in the crowd way back when the Miami Dolphins won their Super Bowl. Or actually, it could have been the first Super Bowl they played in, JC, when they lost to the Dallas Cowboys. They were interviewing a lot of people down in Florida. I remember, can you believe I remember this stuff? They interviewed one guy. They said, "What do you think about the Super Bowl?" He said, "The Super Bowl is super." That's all he came up with. But I remember that to this day. This is absolutely the Teal Shirt Report podcast, episode show number 15. Who wore 15? There was a backup quarterback for the New York Jets. And the backups had to come in for Joe Namath back in the 70s. He won the Super Bowl, a year before Kansas City did with the guarantee. And what was that backup quarterback's name? He would come in from time to time. Joe had a lot of knee injuries, and he played for the Jets. Al Woodall was a backup. I believe the guy's name was Al Woodall. Bob Davis wore number 15. He was a backup that, I'm looking at one of his old jerseys. I got a picture of him. I see a picture of him actually fumbling the football. He was a backup for Joe Namath, number 12. And you can't really talk about the Super Bowl without talking about the history. The teams that have won it before, the New York Jets, that's really the last time they did anything, with credibility. I mean, they had been in the playoffs off and on. But the Super Bowl guarantee by Joe Namath. And that was actually, I missed that season. I was a little bit too young for that season. It was like I believe when Joe Namath won the Super Bowl, it was like the 68 season. And they played the Super Bowl in January of 1969. The first Super Bowl I saw was the very next year when the Kansas City Chiefs with Len Dawson, Otis Taylor, Willie Lanier, and a few other players won the Super Bowl from the 69 season, but the Super Bowl game was in January of 1970. Flash forward to 2026, New England's back in the Super Bowl with a second-year quarterback in Drake May. New York Joe and I both picked New England to win the game, but I think it's going to be a close game. I think ample turnovers will decide it. If one of the quarterbacks throws 2 interceptions, that may be the game. Just my opinion. Joe talked about how New England's got more veteran players, although the Seattle quarterback has more experience in Drake May, obviously. I just, looking up the information on the quarterback of Seattle, Sam Darnold, he was a very high draft pick by the Jets. Spent time with, Carolina, San Francisco, went to Minnesota, now he's in Seattle. If you count up all those teams he's been with, that's like 5 teams in his career. And now he's actually obtained the goal that all quarterbacks have, is to make it to the Super Bowl. Once you absolutely get there, you got to win it, right? You got to win. If you get to the Super Bowl, you got to win it. Seattle, Joe and I talked about Seattle is the better team overall, but we both picked New England for various factors, perhaps the coaching, more veteran players on the New England team. I'm looking at the line. We're going to give you an up-to-date Sunday line. It's Sunday, February the 8th, just a little while before kickoff this evening. Has there been any changes? The over-under is still 48.5 points. New England will win, cover the spread. The total will go over. That's what I'm picking. That's what my source is picking. Joe picked New England. I think Joe kind of liked the under a little bit, though, as I recalled our interview yesterday. So the Super Bowl going on. New England wins it according to myself and New York Joe. We'll see what happens. The over-under is still at about 45.5 points. And Seattle, again, bear in mind, Seattle is a 4.5 point favorite. Most people in the Facebook group, I will say most people in the Facebook group like Seattle. And on the surface, Seattle has the better team. And I remember the Jaguars played Seattle early in the year, and after the Jags lost that game, and bear in mind the Jaguars only lost 5 games all year, including the playoff loss to Buffalo. The Jaguars finished the season 13-5. But bear in mind, early in the year, the Jaguars lost to the Rams by a high score. Then a hard-fought game. The Jaguars lost to Seattle. And after that game, I said, man, Seattle has got a good team. That's what I was left with. And they got a good defense, too. Drake may have his hands full with the Seattle Seahawks defense today. New York Joe made a good point in episode show number 14, is that Drake May's going to have to run for some yardage. And he can do that. He's mobile, second-year guy, young guy. When you get to the Super Bowl and you're in your first or second or third year, the spotlight is on you and it's magnified. If you can win this game early in your career, man, that sets you up. I mean, look at Patrick Mahomes with Kansas City. He's won multiple Super Bowls. His coach, Andy Reid, been to Super Bowls, won Super Bowls. And these guys, Bill Belichick won multiple Super Bowls. He couldn't find his way into the Hall of Fame, which surprised a lot of people, made some people mad. I start thinking about Spygate, the Jaguars playing the Patriots in the AFC title game back in January of 2018, and it doesn't make me mad. It doesn't make me mad at all. I mean, the officials, Spygate, Deflategate, whatever you want to discuss, and please post any comment you got in the comments on this Super Bowl Sunday, February the 8th of 2025. Game kicks off tonight. I gave you the line. Still, Seattle at the present time, a 4.5 point favorite. The consensus is that Seattle, about 68% of the people think Seattle's going to win the game. And I'm going to say our Facebook group is probably a microcosm of that, because I'm going to say 7 or 8 out of 10 people think Seattle wins the game. Joe and I kind of going against the grain. New York Joe and I. You can go back and watch episode show number 14. This is episode show number 15. Super Bowl Sunday. Joe and I both took New England. Joe said, you got to make a pick, Scott. So I picked New England to win the game 28-20. And by saying that, I've got to believe that Sam Darnold may see some ghost in a pressure-tight game. He may throw a pick or two, but Drake May could also. It is going to be really an interesting game. New England has some good receivers, maybe not great receivers, but good receivers. The Seattle defense is pretty much lauded. I mean, the people kind of put the Seattle defense on a pedestal and say, man, they got a great defense. Could New England score 28 points on that defense like I'm talking about? I think Joe was saying something like the Patriots win 23-20 or 23-22. We're looking for a game probably no higher than the 20s. If anybody scores 30 points, they're going to win this game. That's what it's going to come down to here in the Super Bowl. Jacksonville Jaguars got decisions to make. Of course, they'll have a draft coming up, I guess, in late April of 2026. Fill out the roster. I think the Jags need a defensive tackle, probably an offensive guard. You know, they did re-up Cole Van Lannon, then he got hurt. He'll be healthy to start the season. So they seem like they found their left tackle. Walker Little, does he get dropped? He got a big contract from Balky in Balky's last year. And after Cam Robinson was, I guess, traded to Minnesota, then he ended up on another team. Cam Robinson's kind of playing musical teams, musical chairs, and musical teams now as well, the former left tackle of the Jaguars. Left tackle is a critical position. Cole Van Lannon came in, I guess Walker Little got injured, and that opened the door for Cole Van Lannon to play tackle, left tackle. He was a guard also, backing up at both positions. So he may have found his spot. He got a big contract, so he's making the money. I think the Jags still, in my mind, you draft a guard, maybe even a guard that can play tackle, or play a guard that can play center. And I'm talking about early in the draft. We don't have a first-round pick because of the Travis Hunter trade, but we got a second round, a third round, a fourth round. I'm looking at offensive guard, defensive tackle, and probably the defensive tackle is going to come first, then the guard maybe in the third round. And you're not going to re-sign Devin Lloyd. You're going to need to draft a linebacker, at least in the middle rounds. Travis Etienne is most likely not going to be back for the Jaguars. Probably have to draft another running back in the middle rounds. It looks like Rachel Tootin will be a guy that'll probably be pigeonholed as a starter in 2026 when, September rolls around. Jacksonville Icemen. Let me tell you, the Icemen, I'm so happy that they won. They made some changes on the roster. Greg Tardif at our Facebook group said, man, the Icemen have had a lot of injuries. And they have, and they've had to kind of go get some players. They got a new goaltender, a new skater. And they did win a game. They won it on the road against South Carolina. The Jacksonville Icemen back on the winning track with a win on the road over South Carolina. Jacksonville Icemen 4, South Carolina Stingrays 1 on Saturday night, February the 7th of 2026. The Jacksonville Icemen get their 18th win of the season. They're still below 500. The Icemen now improved to 18, 22, and 3 on the 2025 East Coast Hockey League season. JC, I know I'm going to post a definitive 70s song on most of these new podcasts that we're doing, and I might not be able to post it that very day, but it'll go up on these newer episodes that I'm doing now. This is episode show number 15. We'll probably go back and put a definitive 70s song up on episode show number 14 as well. Concerts, by the way, the game hasn't been played yet, but maybe the best commercial in the Super Bowl is going to be the Budweiser commercial that features a Leonard Skinner Freebird song. It's a cute commercial. I think it left some people in tears, left a lot of people with pride, especially when you're originally from Jacksonville, Florida, like myself. I think Max from Georgia's got to think the same way because he's a big Mad Max with the madmaxmix.weebly.com show on Wednesday nights. Mad Max Mix on Wednesday nights at madmaxmix.weebly.com. JC Live from the Pub show on Thursday nights at LakeUpallahits.com. And you'll see these shows mentioned on our scroll. There's links to these shows on our website at bigjreport.com. The quarterback matchup for the Super Bowl, Sam Darnold and Drake May, that's the critical matchup. Of course, they're not on the field at the same time. It's what they do with the opposing defenses because defensive pressure is going to be a key. One of these quarterbacks sees some ghost, and the pressure, the high-packed pressure of a Super Bowl game. We'll see what transpires. Checking the concerts in the area now. I saw Joe Jackson is going to be in Atlanta. And JC, we don't normally talk about Atlanta shows, but man, our audience is like Florida, Georgia, that pocket of Southeast Alabama, and other states surrounding us. And I know Max at the very tail end of his show, in the past, he's played Joe Jackson Stepping Out. And I was just going to tell you that Joe Jackson, and I don't know if he's going to be in Florida. I'm sure if we get some Florida dates, we'll pass those along too, or even Alabama. But kind of the middle point of all this, Atlanta. Joe Jackson will be in Atlanta. And I did want to pull up the date for Joe Jackson, who did Stepping Out. And, the other great song he did, that was officially a 79 song, but I kind of remember more in 1980. Joe Jackson, a young guy back then, he's still touring. And got to scroll on my Facebook page right now. Sam McGill, the Sam McGill Beermen, won the Philippine Cup in the PBA, which is the Philippines version of professional basketball. My wife's favorite team, Sam McGill. They call them the Sam McGill Beermen, is what they call them. Okay, Joe Jackson. Gosh, did it get cold? Last Sunday, back on February the 1st, we got down to 23 degrees in Jacksonville, Florida. Let me find the, let's see here. Man, we've had some cold weather. Got down to 30. Got down to 30 this morning. In Jacksonville, the weather forecast said it was going to get down to 34 or 35 this morning. I wake up and lo and behold, it's 30. It's colder than the weather forecast thought it would be. The sky's really cleared out. It's nice and sunny on Super Bowl Sunday here on February the 8th of 2026. Joe Jackson and band, Hope and Fury Tour 2026. Joe Jackson will be in Atlanta. He did the Stepping Out song, which was a big hit, by the way. Max, I remember playing that song on the radio at WJAX here in Jacksonville when I was working for that station years ago. So that song is Stepping Out it's like a 40-year-old song now. It really is. But a great song. And Joe had there was another really big hit he had in 79-80 as well. The Joe Jackson Show will be in Atlanta. Joe Jackson and the band are coming to Center Stage on June 26th of 2026 with the Hope and Fury Tour of 2026. Tickets are on sale now. Joe Jackson and his band and the Hope and Fury Tour 2026 will be in Atlanta. The venue is called Center Stage. The band is coming to Center Stage in Atlanta, in the Atlanta area on June 26th of 2026. We will probably add that to our Neighbors 2 section and the concert calendar. It's not presently on the concert calendar, but we got a lot of concerts that are up there at the present time. We'll give you some, Jacksonville, North Florida concerts. I got a picture of the Jackrabbits venue, which is a smaller venue located in the San Marco area on the south side of Jacksonville, Florida. A picture of the entranceway into Jackrabbits. Dick Dale, if you remember him, played there years ago. He likes it loud. Turns his amp way up. A guy that went to that show told me that. Let's take a look at some concerts we got. We also want to mention you can check out the Mad Max Mix.weebly.com. Mad Max's show is on Wednesday nights, 6 o'clock till 8 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock till 9 o'clock Eastern Time. The Mad Max Mix.weebly.com. And we'll check some concerts. Also, congratulations to Breezy. Breezy won the, I guess that's the Alpine Winter Skiing Competition. She's from Wyoming, I think originally from Idaho. What's interesting, she won the gold medal, but her teammate, her United States teammate, Mrs. Bond, wiped out and had to be airlifted out of there. Hope she's okay. Let's see. Breezy Johnson, United States alpine skier. Breezy Johnson won the gold medal. She's from the state of Wyoming, way up in the north. I think she might be originally from Idaho, but apparently the family had moved to Wyoming at some time. I saw an interview she did. She said she just found out recently her dad could not ski anymore. I guess some health concerns. So she was winning it for him. And so congratulations to Breezy Johnson on winning that gold medal. Her teammate wiped out. I found the NBC on the antenna TV, and I watched a little bit of the skiing event this morning. And let's see, the teammate of hers, skier Lindsey Vaughn, wiped out. Had to be airlifted, from the ski slopes way down below, and then, brought back up. And I hope the injury is not too serious as she wiped out. Boy, when you wipe out on the ski slopes, you're going to get some type of injury. Pulled muscle, probably at best. At worst, you could break a leg or something. To the concerts. Let's take a look at again, congratulations to Breezy, who won the gold medal. Congratulations to Miss Breezy. And, I just happened to tune in and saw Vaughn airlifted. United States skier Lindsey Vaughn wiped out. But Breezy won, her teammate Breezy Johnson won the gold medal. Last I saw on that event, it was the United States was, I think, in second place. Italy was in third. The country Austria had skiers. They were not in the top three, though. Let's see, I think I mentioned in some of my writings about the top three. Italy was in there at 3. United States was 2. Okay. I'm looking for that now, actually. You're tuned into the Teal Shirt Report podcast episode show, actually, number 15 here in the year 2026. Okay, so Italy's up there. United States, Austria's got skiers in the event, and it's the first I've ever looked at the Winter Olympics this year in 2026. Now there's some speed skating on NBC, so I've had some of that on, in the background. Back to the concert listings. Let's see what we got here. Carla Bonoff. Let's see. Carla Bonoff's show was held last night on Saturday, February the 7th. Carla Bonoff was at the Ponte Vedra Concert Hall in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida. And that was last night, back on February the 7th. Got a good one coming up, Christopher Cross and the 2026 tour. Christopher Cross performing on Thursday night, March the 5th of 2026 at 8 o'clock p.m. at the Florida Theater in downtown Jacksonville, Florida on March the 5th. To our executive producer, JC, the Little River Band, and we've known about these guys touring everywhere. We remember, JC, when they were touring in that small pocket of southeast Alabama, and they did a show or a couple of shows in Dothan, Alabama. Little River Band's been coming to North Florida for years too. The Little River Band coming to the Florida Theater on Saturday, March the 7th of 2026 at 8 o'clock p.m. One of my favorite songs by them, It's a Long Way There. I think I've requested that on JC's show. JC live from the pub on Thursday nights at LakeUfallahits.com. Great internet radio where it's all good. Mad Max on Wednesday nights at madmaxmix.weebly.com. You'll find links for Mad Max's show, also JC's live from the pub show. You'll find links in the Neighbors 2 section along with the concerts, but you got to do a lot of scrolling. The Little River Band coming to the Florida Theater on Saturday, March the 7th of 2026 at 8 o'clock p.m. with special guest, the Lords of 52nd Street. Now, JC, I did some research. You'll be proud of me because you're not the only one that does research. I know you probably do more than I do. But I found out about this group that's coming to Jackrabbits called, I'm not sure if you're familiar with them either, but they're called Letdown. Letdown, it's all spelled together. Letdown, there's no space in between the let and down. It's just Letdown. Letdown will be in San Marco, right here in Jacksonville. The group Letdown will perform at Jackrabbits Live on Sunday morning, March the 8th. Did I say Sunday morning? I think I did. I gotta edit this. I don't know why I'm saying Sunday morning. It's actually Sunday night. I'll have to re-edit this on the website. The group Letdown will perform at Jackrabbits Live on Sunday night, March the 8th of 2026 at 7 o'clock p.m. at Jackrabbits in the San Marco area of Jacksonville, Florida. That's on the south side, Mad Max. The music group Widespread Panic will be live. And I'm not, I've heard their music and they're pretty good. I've never been a fan of Widespread Panic or know a whole lot about them. But let me go back to the show because I was talking about research, JC. The group Letdown will perform at Jackrabbits Live on Sunday evening, March the 8th of 2026 at 7 o'clock p.m. at Jackrabbit in the San Marco area of Jacksonville, Florida. I didn't listen to a lot of them, but I listened to some of their music on YouTube, Letdown. And I will tell you, I was impressed. I was impressed. This is a good, for the size venue Jackrabbits is. This is a good, really good artist. And when I listen to just a couple of minutes of their music or more, they're kind of a folksy alternative rock group. That's how I would describe them. Kind of a folksy alternative rock group. Letdown, the group Letdown will perform at Jackrabbits Live on Sunday evening, March the 8th of 2026 at 7 o'clock p.m. at Jackrabbits in the San Marco area of Jacksonville, Florida. Again, music group Widespread Panic will be live at the St. Augustine Amphitheater for 3 days. And they did this last year. They did shows for 3 days in St. Augustine at the St. Augustine Amphitheater for 3 days beginning Friday, March the 20th and running through March the 22nd. Tickets on sale now for this event. If you can get them at the amphitheater, at the box office there, it's better, but you can buy tickets almost, from the StubHubs or whoever's selling them online now. Tickets on sale now for Widespread Panic. And JC, Foreigner with Lou Graham and Night Ranger, they will be at the St. Augustine Amphitheater in St. Augustine, Florida on Friday night, April the 17th of 2026 at 7:30 p.m. Here's a big one, Journey. And could this be the final tour? Even with Arnell, the Philippine singer, but he's been with Journey a long time now. Not as long as Steve Perry was, but a Journey, the Final Frontier Tour is what they're calling it. Journey performing on Saturday evening, May 16th of 2026 at 7:30 p.m. at the ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena here in Jacksonville, Florida. How about this? Men at Work. And I'm not as familiar with Toad the Wet Sprocket, but I do remember the group name years ago. So I'm assuming they're like a, 80s group or early 80s group like Men at Work was when they started, had all those big hits back in the early to mid 1980s. And I played them on the radio. I was at WJX at 94Q, different stops, different radio stops. For me over the years in terrestrial radio, Men at Work and Toad the Wet Sprocket coming to St. Augustine, Florida, this summer on Friday evening, July the 17th of 2026 at 6:30 p.m. at the St. Augustine Amphitheater. So those are some of the shows. I really don't give you all the shows, but I give you the shows I would probably recommend for you to see or shows I would like to see. That's going to do it for the podcast episode show. I'm trying to keep it under 30 minutes, JC. Episode show number 15 here in the year 2026. We've been eloquently produced by our executive producer, JC, also by Alex Nunnery and Mr. John Gaylor. Thank you for the input. John Gaylor, a correspondent, contributor to the Teal Shirt Report podcast. We're brought to you by Saucer Realty and Capital. You see the sponsors on the scroll at the bottom of the screen, madmaxmix.weebly.com, and by JC's Live. JC's Live from the Pub Show on Thursday nights at LakeUfallahits.com. Great internet radio where it's all good. Mad Max's show is on Wednesday nights starting at 6 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, the Mad Max Mix.weebly.com. 30 minutes in. We're going to wrap it up. You guys have a great day. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in to the Teal Shirt Report podcast. Going to bring out the guitar and wrap things up. I'm Scott, your host. Okay. I'm Scott, your host for the Teal Shirt Report podcast. You guys have a great day. Enjoy the Super Bowl. On our next episode, we'll be talking about how it came out. It was a tough pick, but I picked New England to win 28-20 over Seattle. Joe had New England like 23-22. I think Joe mentioned 23-22 or 23-20. So we like New England, even though most people are going with Seattle because they got the overall better team. You guys have a great day. Thank you for watching the Teal Shirt Report podcast, episode show number 15 on the Super Bowl Sunday, February the 8th of 2026. Have a great day. We did get up over 31 minutes. JC, sorry about that. Our second producer, JC, thanks for all your help. You guys have a great day, okay? Man, that coffee was darn good today.